Welcome to One in a Million channel. Welcome to the live video and welcome to the replay. Let me know if you guys are tuning into the replay so that I can come back and talk to you, chat with you as though we were doing this thing live. So it's going to be a lot of fun. My name is Eunice Chan, and I love talking about all things self-awareness. I love talking about meditation. I love talking about self-expression. I think all these topics are kind of intertwined and they all have something to do with each other. And today's topic is specifically for those who have probably tried to meditate before. This is for those who have not really had much experience meditating. And so I'm going to be walking you through step by step how to go into a meditative state, how to do your meditation experience, how to have a meditation experience. And one of the reasons why I decided that I wanted to create a video like this, even though I consider myself quite a seasoned meditator, and I, I've talked about, on my channel, I've talked about like how do you go deeper into meditation? So like, I go into like more advanced techniques into meditation, but I feel like there's something about understanding meditation as an experience alone and being able to deconstruct actually what happens in a meditation and how do we go into it really allows us to like look at meditation like with a whole new perspective. And this video could be for you if you already have some experience in meditation and you're like, you know what, I kind of want to get to know this all over again. And I kind of want to, look at meditation, my meditative experience with a new perspective, go into it with fresh new eyes. I strongly encourage you to watch this video. So I feel like one of the hardest things to do as someone who explains meditation is like you can't kind of I've got a notification. So comment along as you guys are, like resonating with this because I think it's really fun to have like an engaging conversation. So one of the things I find that's like the most difficult thing as someone who explains and articulate the experience of meditation is that no two meditation experiences are the same. No two experiences are the same. So when I do a meditation yesterday and when I do a meditation today, these experiences could be completely different, let alone explaining it to someone other than myself. So if I don't fully experience what I am going through and I don't fully am able to articulate my own meditative experience because every single time it is different, it is going to be very hard to teach it to someone. And I feel like that is the disconnect sometimes that happens between someone who is practiced in their meditations, someone who is, who has a handful of experience, who've done it for many years or who've done it for many hours, and to explain that to someone who has not done it before. It's like, just setting a 5-minute timer is not going to cut it. Like just doing it for several minutes is not going to cut it because I feel, the more I think about the meditative experience, the more I realize, you know what, it's actually a very different experience the other person is having, and you cannot explain it in the way that you are experiencing it right now to someone who has not experienced it before. So the way that I'm going to be explaining it today is I'm going to be explaining it through the eyes of someone, through the experience of someone who hasn't done it before. And I hope that it is going to land. I hope that it is going to resonate with you. I hope that it is going to, I hope that I'm able to speak at a level in which, you are going to receive it with your body and you're going to be like, oh, you know what? Yes, that is exactly what I'm experiencing. And a lot of times, the fear of going into a meditation or the discomfort of going into a meditation or even just like the thought of like sitting by yourself, like having your eyes closed, it's like it's very hard to articulate that to someone who has practiced meditation. It's very hard to articulate that feeling at all, like to anyone. And I think there's several reasons to that. I mean, um, self-awareness is one of those things where, you know, if you have not done any kind of meditation and you've primarily spent most of your life just putting your attention outside of yourself, you know, it's also really hard to be able to articulate, you know, come up with the words and articulate what it is that you're experiencing in your inner world when you are going into a meditative experience, or when you are trying to meditate and you start getting frustrated. It's like it's really hard to find the words to articulate that, and it's really hard to find someone to find like someone who meditates, who understands what you are going through. And so this has really helped me develop the compassion and the understanding, and you know, you come up with the words, and just like be in the mindset of like opening up the space for to allow for um, to allow for understanding what is really happening in a meditating beginner's mind. um, and to talk about that from your perspective. So let me know if this is helpful. Now I want to cover what is a meditation, because you will find lots of resources online, and you will find all of different kinds of, like, you know, guided meditations. You will find all sorts of interpretations of what is a meditation online, and you probably have been told to focus on this, focus on that, focus on not thinking, focus on clearing your thoughts, focus on your breath, yada yada yada. And it's like it's really hard to just focus on all these things when all you think to yourself is like, I don't even know if I'm doing this right. I don't even know what's the point to this. I'm not feeling anything. I'm not thinking anything. You know, your head is racing, and you're kind of like trying to find a ground. You're trying to like put your anchor onto something, but there's nothing to hold you down. And so I feel like that's probably one of the scariest things to experience in a meditation, to experience as a beginner meditator, which is like not knowing where to place my attention and not knowing if I'm experiencing it right. So isn't it a state? Hi, AJ. So happy to have you here. Isn't it a state? So I'm going to be sharing with you my interpretation. Yes, we will go into a state, but I feel like the meditation alone is an action. There is an action that takes place first, and then the action itself derives a certain state. It derives a certain sensation that like glides you into this state. So the state is actually this like place where you go into, but you can't, there's no like step 1 2 3 to get into it. So it's like, well, how do I hack myself into it? So what I've derived, what I've noticed when every single time I am able to slip into a meditative state, when I effortlessly like find myself, oh, like here I am again. You know, there's always like a few things that I have done to get myself there, but I'm not thinking about getting myself there, if you get what I mean. So what I derived out of all of my meditative experiences is that meditation is an act of noticing. That's what it is. It's just an act of noticing. No matter if you're doing a walking meditation, no matter if you're doing a mantra meditation, no matter if you're doing a silent meditation, or a music meditation, a guided meditation, it's all about noticing, right? When you walk out, like let's say when you're doing a walking meditation and you're noticing, what are you paying attention to? You're paying attention to the sound of your footsteps. You're paying attention to the birds, sounds of the birds around you. You're paying attention to how the air feels in your skin, maybe the light breeze in your skin. You're paying attention to the temperature. You're paying attention to the sensation of, the ground beneath your feet as you lift one foot and place your foot before another. You're taking your steps and you're paying attention, right? There's an act of noticing. And when you're doing a guided meditation, like let's say a body scan meditation, you're paying attention to um, the sensations in your body. So that's what they call a body scan meditation. You're scanning this, it's like you're putting your body through a scanner, and one point after another, one location after another in your body, you're noticing the different sensations that you're feeling in your body. So there's an active engagement of your attention. It's an active noticing. So you don't have to worry about not paying attention to the right things. If you're not able to pay attention to your breath, if you're not able to pay attention to the clock ticking, if you're not able to pay attention to um, clearing your thoughts, like, you don't have to worry about that, because there's no way you can get it wrong. And I think one of the biggest fears, that we have is like, I can't get my thoughts right. And if I cannot control my thoughts, and if I cannot steer my mind to kind of pay attention in the right direction, I'm going to get this meditation wrong. I'm going to get this meditation experience wrong. I'm not getting it right. I'm not going to get into the state. I'm not going to get any effects out of this. It's going to be 10 minutes wasted, 5 minutes wasted. This is all for nothing, and I can't get it right. I don't understand this meditation thing. And it feels like a really defeating experience, and we don't want that. So I want to empower you to actually realize that, you know what? You can get it right. You can get it right. And whatever it is that you choose to notice, that is up to you. Whether if it's the clock, whether if it's birds chirping, whether if it's your footsteps, whether it's your breathing, whether if it's the humming of the refrigerator, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's, just like background white noise or whatever it is. You can get it right. It is up to you, whatever you want to pay attention to. So this act of noticing is a very precious thing, because if you think about it, right? When we go about our day and we're kind of rushing through our day, we're looking at our to-do list, we're thinking about all the things that we need to do, we're thinking ahead of time, we're thinking about how to save time, we're thinking about what I'm going to do tonight, and how do I make the most out of my day. A lot of times when we are on this pre-programmed, we're running on autopilot, and when we are sort of out of touch with the present moment, we don't notice a lot of things. But that's what meditation is about. It's the practice of noticing things, right? So when we are out of touch with ourselves, and when we're out of touch with the present moment, we're thinking ahead of time, we're planning ahead of time, we're worried, we're thinking about the past, we're feeling bad about ourselves, we're worried about the future, we're worried about what other people are thinking, if someone is mad at us or something. And we stop noticing what's right in front of us. So the meditation experience is just simply a practice of noticing what's right now, what's happening right now, what am I seeing right now, what am I feeling right now, what am I thinking right now, what am I questioning right now, what am I intuitively sensing right now, what am I experiencing right now, what emotions am I experiencing right now, right? And that is it. So the more that we learn to notice what's in front of us and tune, it's kind of um, it's kind of like readjusting your lenses. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's like readjusting your focus so that your pupils are refocused back to what you're looking at right in front of you. So it's not blurry. You're not looking at your peripherals. You're looking at what's right in front of you. It brings you back to the present. So when you start to practice noticing things in front of you, you start to notice your automatic thoughts, because your automatic thoughts are probably right in front of you. You're like, oh, I start to notice that I have this repetitive thought. Yes, it's right in front of me. Yes, I'm thinking about it. I notice it. I don't know why. I don't know why I keep stopping myself from getting in touch with people. I don't know why I don't allow myself to call this person or return this call. I don't know why I just ignore people. I don't know why I keep sabotaging myself. I don't know why, I want to do that thing, but I don't allow myself to do it. I don't know why I keep just snapping at people. And so this is the practice of, the more you notice yourself, the more you notice things, the more you notice your thoughts. It's just practice noticing. So we talked about, you can focus on anything that you want, so you can't possibly get it wrong. I feel like this is probably one of the most empowering things that you can return to, is knowing that, you know what, I can't get it wrong. I could just notice anything. I could look at the nail on the wall and I could just pay attention to it. That is how amazing it is. This is a meditative experience. Can you imagine if you were to just stare at a wall and be like, oh, you know what? That part of the wall, there's there's a little speckle of dirt. I wonder how long it's been there for. And you start paying attention to the things that you have overlooked in the past. You start paying attention to the things that you have taken for granted in the past. You start noticing the things that are automatic to you in the past. You see how that all relates together. So what happens when you notice more things around you is that everything starts having its meaning to you, and everything starts standing out to you a little more, and everything starts speaking to you, right? So um, so I'm going to attempt to break down this meditative experience, how to meditate step by step in 4 steps, okay? Starting by doing it with your eyes open. And the reason for that is because, just now we talked about why it's so scary to, just close our eyes and not know what we're experiencing. Honestly, it's a really scary experience. And even as an experienced meditator, even having done it for 3 years straight, there are days when I don't want to meditate because I don't want to sit with my thoughts. I'm going to be honest with you. There are days where I mean, those days are very few and far between, but there are days where I just shy away from meditating because I'm intimidated, because I know that there's too much going on in my head, because I know that if I close my eyes, my thoughts would be racing and I can't handle it. And so in those moments, it's important to have compassion with yourself. And so I'm going to introduce to you a very gentle and light approach to introduce yourself to the experience of meditation, so that you can feel safe and you can know that you are doing it correctly, right? And actually, the correct way to do it is to know that you're doing it correctly. So there's no way you could get it wrong. It's to give you back the confidence that you've always wanted, give you back the reassurance that you've always wanted, so that you can go into this meditative experience. Because as soon as you close your eyes, you're on your own. As soon as you close your eyes, you're in the darkness. There's no one else around you, right? There's no one else to tell you where to go, what to think about, unless you're doing a guided meditation, right? You're on your own in this vast space of thinkingness, this vast space of thoughts. It's it's real. So, step number 1, we're going to start with our eyes open, because that's where we feel the most anchored in our reality. That's where we feel the most safe. We're going to just position ourselves comfortably, okay? So I'm sitting down right now. You could choose to sit down in a chair. You could choose to sit down on a couch. You could sit down by the bed. And what you want to do is sit down and just allow yourself to breathe naturally. Because breathing is one of those things that we take for granted the most. When we're nervous, when we're stressed, we start to breathe really shallow. Um, when we feel tension in our body, when we feel like there's tension between us and other people, or us and the external world, we breathe shallow, right? It changes our breathing. And so we want to return our breath back to normal. Just back to normal. It's not about breathing slower. It's not about slowing down your breath. It's not about controlling your breath. It's just going back to your normal rhythm. Can you do that? This is the most natural way to breathe, right? When your breathing is natural, what starts to happen to your body is like you start feeling a little more relaxed. You start feeling like nothing is really as bad as it seems. You stop like racing your thoughts because your breathing is back to normal again. Okay? So this is the first thing you need to do is return your breathing back to normal. Not slowing it down, not pacing it, not dragging it out, returning back to normal. So this is a very powerful practice, even just returning it back to normal. And the reason is because I feel like we all know within our bodies how to breathe normally. It's just that sometimes we forget, right? So breathe normally, notice your breath, keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. The second step is, as you're sitting down and you're moving on from the first step, is check if you're comfortable. So in a body scan meditation, you're scanning different parts of your body, to relax every tension spot. But I want to just put you at a place where you're just checking your body. Am I comfortable? Am I relaxed? Am I sat comfortably? Am I holding too much tension in my abs? Am I holding too much tension in my shoulders? Am I like feeling nervous, so I'm kind of like clenched up like this? Does my stomach or does my chest feel kind of tense? So check if you're comfortable. This is the first thing that you can do to bring your body back to its equilibrium. So notice any tension in your body. This is the first act of noticing. Notice any tension in your body. Release any tension that you notice, right? So what we're starting to do is we're starting to pay attention. We're starting to notice sensations. And we're using our sensations to ground us back in our body so that we can reconnect ourselves to our body and the bodily sensations that we're feeling. This noticing practice is very, very powerful. So step number 3 is, while you're still keeping your eyes open, notice what you're seeing around your surroundings. So you're starting to notice, like, all the things inside of you. And then now you're bringing your attention to, what do I notice around me? So I notice a wall around me. I notice a wall hook. I notice plants around me. I notice there's a gray looking door. I notice that I'm looking into the camera, right? So you can start to count all these things that you're noticing. And if there are too many things around you, just pick 1 or 2 things that stand out to you first. And then you notice that object, right? When you pay attention to the object, you have a place where you anchor your attention in. So this is where, like, you go from information overload, like too much flooding my mind at the same time. Like, Eunice, I could pay attention to anything, so like, what do I focus on? Just pay attention to like 1 or 2 things. So, and then you bring yourself down to, like, I'm just focusing on 1 or 2 things. I'm not overloaded. I'm not overwhelmed. There isn't too many sensations I'm feeling at the same time. It's just relax. I'm focusing on this 1 or 2 things. And start making mental notes about that object. Whether if it's a wall you're staring at, whether if it's plant, start making mental notes of like, oh, those leaves look a little dry. Maybe I should start watering it a little more. Um, oh, there's dirt on the wall, or maybe there's like that chipped um, that chipped tile that that gets my shoe every single time, and you start making mental notes about that one thing, and you hold your attention there for as long as you want before moving on to the next object. Okay? So after you've acknowledged each thing around you, move on to notice the next object. And just leave, like when you're moving on, it's not like I gotta stop thinking about it right now. But it's like it's a natural process. Just like how your thoughts operate. When I'm done thinking about this thing, oh, there's this other thing. And oh, there's this other thing. And oh, there's this other feeling. And oh, there's this other memory. And oh, there's this thing that that person said to me. So you're noticing, you're jumping from one thing to another, and along the way you're just noticing, right? And so with with physical things, you're able to notice how your attention is moving from one place to another, like literally physically from one place to another. I'm moving my attention from the glass to the water, from the water to the phone, from the phone to the wall, from the wall to the ceiling, from the ceiling to the door, from the door to the door handle, like things like that. And so you're moving the location of your focus. This practice is going to help you associate with moving the focus of your thoughts. This is very powerful. Do you see how this all relates? If we're able to tune in to the focus of physical objects, then we're able to tune in to the moving focus of our thoughts. It's so powerful because it's the way that you train your mind to think. If I think like this, if I notice things like this, if this is the way that I operate in the waking world, and by the waking world I mean, eyes wide open, then when I have my eyes closed, I'll think the same way. I'll operate the same way instead of closing my eyes and be like, where am I? Where am I? And like not having anything to think about because there's just too many things to notice. There's too many things that overwhelm you. So I encourage for anyone who feel challenged, you don't even necessarily have to be a beginner in meditating. I think like meditation is a very, very challenging thing to do. Like even having done it for so many years, I encourage anyone who feels like it's a challenging practice to experience to just do this physical noticing yourself, starting by step one, returning your breathing back to natural. Step number two, check if you have any tension in your body, check if you're comfortable. And then step number three, while keeping your eyes open, you start noticing your surroundings, noticing all the things around you, and then allowing yourself to just focus on one or two things, and then making mental notes about what you notice. And then step number four is once you finish noticing that object, allow your brain to just naturally scan for the next thing to notice. Because this, my friends, this is the meditative experience. The only difference is you're just doing it with your eyes wide open. That's it. When you close your eyes, it's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. So you can't get it wrong because no two persons will focus on the same things. No two persons will prefer to focus on the exact same things. And no two of your meditations are going to be the same. So just because I chose to focus on the ticking of the clock last time doesn't mean that I'm going to prefer it next time. All my meditations, sometimes they're all very different. And so then after you feel comfortable with this section of the exercise, then you can move on to close your eyes and start noticing. And then the experience becomes very enriched because you know that you're doing it right. You know that you have this, you're equipped with this confidence that, oh, I can do it with my eyes wide open, so I can do it with my eyes closed. And then you're going to have this like confidence in your body, like, I know I'm doing this right. Okay. Sensation in my body. Okay, sorry. First step, return my breathing back to normal. Okay, feeling relaxed. Number two. Step number two, release any muscle tension. Okay, check. Right? And you start like feeling really good about noticing any thoughts come up in your head. You're not threatened by it. You're not intimidated by it. You're not overwhelmed by it. You're not like shying away from it. You're just kind of like accepting it as it comes. This is how you master. This is how you master meditation, no matter if you're a beginner or if you're a seasoned meditator. But I made this video specifically for those of you who have not meditated before, because I know how intimidating it can be, and I know how difficult it is to explain to someone like that experience is it's too much, but I don't know what's too much. I just know it's too much. And it's hard to find the words and the language to explain this to someone, especially if you haven't meditated before and you're trying to explain to someone who is very experienced in meditation, and you're getting comments like, why can't you just do it? Like, no, it's not that simple. It's just not that simple. Like, you don't know what's going on in my mind. How could I possibly put it into words for you? And so I hope you feel heard. I hope you feel understood. I hope that you find clarity in this process and that it resonates in your mind that, you know what, I can have this experience in in the moments when I open my eyes, and I can confidently have this experience when I'm closing my eyes. I don't have to feel lonely. I don't have to feel afraid. I don't have to feel overwhelmed. I can do my meditations with confidence, and I can do it for however long I wish to do. And there's no way to get it wrong because I'm always doing it right. So that is it for today's video, you guys. I'm so happy that I got to do a live video. Actually, thank you, AJ, for tuning in and commenting. I hope this resonates with you guys. Let me know if this was helpful, by the way. And if you guys like to, I will do more of the live videos like this because I honestly have a lot of fun and I love, love, love hearing from you guys and chatting with you. So with that said, I love you. Sending lots of love. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And what are you doing? Diego's on his rake. Yes, it's very helpful. Oh, I'm so glad. So glad. I hope this enhances your meditation experience. And yeah, with that said, take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.